Hello there, I am Captain Jack Gumption. This is X4 with our Star Wars Interworlds 0.73 mod installed, and this is the start of the new Imperial campaign. This is the second time I'm recording this video because, like a fool, the first time I recorded it, everything went very well, and then I forgot to actually save the game. So I would have had to start it again anyway, and you can never 100% be guaranteed for a same start in X4, so I figured just make a new video for the sake of about an hour and a half worth of recording. So this is the new campaign. I'm going to quickly go through the setup of what we've got and stuff like that. It took a very long time to set up this one, which is just as well, because instead of doing a custom game and starting, it meant I exported the save game file, which was pretty damn useful because it meant I got to reload it. So this is us. This is a continuation of our Imperial playthrough. If you've followed that, you already know we made quite a bit of money on there, so I've basically given us the ships, the main ships that we had, some of the trade ships and things like that, as well as some of the gear that we had as well. So with our first initial setup, we're starting off with 10 million. That's the maximum the slider will go up to. I don't think that's unfair to say how much money we actually had on that. We're taking quite a significant bump in that. And then we've got all of the blueprints that we originally had, plus some others, so we can make the ACS Star Destroyers and the Sith fighters, the Sith things as well, such as the Terminus, the Fury, and the Supremacy and stuff like that. Because that way we get to sort of like see the Sith stuff in this playthrough. It's not an instant easy win for us, as you'll kind of see. I've already started this once already. There is some slight issues, and we'll go over those in a minute. We're starting off in a Venator, the New Dawn. That's our flagship. We had that previously on the last playthrough. It's the exact same setup and things like that. So yeah, we've got the New Dawn is back. Then property wise, this is kind of like what we're looking at map wise. We will control 4 sectors along the top. We've got Ring of Moons, which is basically, that's defense stations. We've got a couple of defense stations in Hook and a couple of one outpost defense station in Kali, and part of the plan will be to move down into Unknown Regions 2 and 3. But we also our main hub is in Unknown Regions 1, where we have our shipyards, the New Order shipyards, on there, which is capable of making large, extra large, medium and small ships, as well as maintaining them as well. We've got a couple of Gazantes for that one. That Neutron Star Builder is just there to kind of, because we had one and they're useful to own. And then we've got an Acclimator, a couple of Acclimators as well, which have been ported across from the old series. We also have the scrap station. So if you remember in the last playthrough in Hook, we had a little scrap station. I've kept that, but this time it's in Unknown Regions 1, where there's plenty of scrap. We've got 3, well, we're actually going to change that to 5, because we did have 5. And these are kind of pretty key early on for our game. Yeah, and there's some bad guys in this area, which is not very good. And if these start getting popped too much, we're kind of scuppered. So we've got the tugs. We've got a scrapper, which we owned as well, and again a couple of Gazantes just to start ferrying materials around. Hurley Station has returned with a couple of miners and a couple of transports, and then we've got one of the warcogs. The warcogs basically being our make-all factory. It makes engine parts. It makes basically everything that you could possibly need for ship building. This station makes it, and that's got a couple of larger mining ships, which we've got them all parked down here at the minute. So that's kind of like our civilian fleet. As for the actual army, our army, we've got this is the kind of like the standard setup, I suppose. We've got 2 Imperial Class 1 Star Destroyers, which we had originally, which is NR07 and Pritchard. They were our ISD-1 captains, commanders, however you want to call the ranks, along with 2 victories. We, in the original playthrough, at the end, when I counted up all the ships, we actually had 3 victories and 1 light cruiser. I've got rid of the light cruiser and we've traded it in for a victory. So our patrol fleets, which these essentially are going to be, is made up of an ISD-1, 30 Royal Guard interceptors, 30 TIE defenders, 2 victories, which have 10 TIE brutes each as their kind of backup. And then we've got the 4 ISD-2s that we had, which aren't named. This is basically for speed purposes. We've got 30 TIE defenders with them and 30 scimitars, which are kind of like hammer fleet. So we haven't got as many fighters as we had before, because if you remember, we also had all the different patrol and PDFs forces kicking about in various different systems. Like we had, I don't know, nearly 50 fighters in Hook, which were a little patrol force. I've not given those across. We're basically just kind of down to the bare fleet. I'm going for there's been peace and we've been demilitarized vibes going on in the interim between like the last episode of the Imperial campaign. This one, whether I get round to it or not, I was planning on doing some sort of fancy thing, but we might not have time for that. Anyway, back to the ships. We have the Arc 170s. That is for my ships, basically. Those Arcs, they're going to go in the New Dawn, which is me there. We've got 30 of those. We've got 10 Raider corvettes, and we've got 2 harbour classes. We had loads of Raiders. I didn't realise how many Raiders we actually had on that playthrough. Like until I started going through into every individual menu and stuff like that. Yeah, we had a boat ton of these boys. So yeah, that's a start. I mean, on a front, it looks like we've got quite a lot, and we have, but resource-wise, we are very much in the kind of like the dump end of this. We've got no access to ice, which means we've got no access to water. So, such as Hurley Station, that's not really going to be online very well. Ringamoon, basically all these stations. Let me get me a little sheet of paper. So, Unknown Region 1, the sort of stats on. So this is Unknown Region 1 here. The stats on that, we've got 30% sun, we've got scrap, and we've got ore, which is not very good. Then Ringamoon is 100% sun, helium, and methane, which is useful, but again, it's not brilliant. Kali, which is our frontier, has got the Rhydonium, but only 40% sun. Hook has got 100% sun, ore, and silicon, and that's kind of like our lot for the minute. We won't be able to get our self-sufficient stations online until we start getting down to Unknown Regions 3, which will have a research base, because it always has a research base, but that is protected by a big fleet, which we'll have to deal with. And then Unknown Region 3 is a Goldilocks system, so it's got all the materials, but to start ferrying them about, you kind of have to put up with Unknown Region 2, and these two systems, I don't know if it changes when you actually claim them, but these constantly spawn Xenon, so we're going to be constantly 100% of the time fighting. And these, especially Unknown Region 3, is going to be the chief provider of our main hub of stations. Until that point, we're going to have to basically hope people will trade with us, which kind of brings us on to his faction relations. I've copied all but one of the relationships, and I can't see it at the minute. I can't remember which one it is. Basically, these are everything as it were, which is not a problem. You know, we're at war with the New Republic, the Rebel Alliance. Oh, that's what I changed. I changed the Sith Empire to -5 because not that we're going to do a massive amount with them. I want to go and see the Sith Empire and show people what it's like, and also see if there's been any changes made in that system on any of the updates, and see what the Sith actually, if they actually actively do anything, or whether it's just the patrol fleets. This is the worst one for us at the minute, the Black Sun being at -30, because last time the Black Sun have still got in Hook their shipyards and their wharf and things like that. So we're going to essentially be at war straight away on our doorstep with a hostile faction who will probably start coming through the gate at some point to pay us a visit, which is not going to be particularly good for us. In fact, let me just move this station a little bit. There we go. Nearer the gate. That's where that should have been in the first place. I want you near that gate. And you near that gate. There we go. So yeah, so that's the setup. That's what we've got. And now it's just a case of getting started and getting everything online and all the stations and ships added in. That I've tried this. Technically speaking, this has been loaded up twice. The first time just to make sure this actual game works. The second time, the one that I recorded and forgot to save the actual game. But we've got on both occasions around about this area here, there's been a Vong armored beacon spawn. So yeah, we'll have that to deal with in the game, but that's fine. We're going to get it loaded up now, and then this episode will be basically just securing everything, taking out the Vong, getting us fleet set up. It'll be a nice quick one. So yeah, I will see you on the flip side. Okay, we are back. Right, so very first thing I'm going to do is apologise for any background noise you might hear. Because of the time of day I'm having to record this, so usually the videos come out on Friday. This is coming out, I'm recording this on the Friday to get it out on Friday because obviously there's a save game problem. But this is our start. As you can see, this is our empire, our lovely little empire. We got the little warden stations and our little outposts and things like that. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to sort out the fleets, get everyone set up to what they're going to be doing, and we need to take out this little Vong beacon, armored beacon. Now, one thing we need to be careful of before we assign any of our trade ships is we need to basically set these up. We need to take out this Vong place, because one of the things that did happen last time I loaded is we lost a couple of these tugs because I sent them out for scrap, and even though this system is literally littered with scrap, the little scrap ships went, I know. Let's go mine the scrap next to this Vong armoured beacon. And a couple of them got destroyed. And for whatever reason, I wasn't getting notifications. I need to go through the warning things of when things are getting attacked and stuff. Because we had a few little attacks down here as well from Black Sun. Same as up in Hook. These stations, so these warden stations, are pretty damn tough. They've got a good kind of like amount of battery force to them, a decent amount of anti-fighter. One of the so a lot of these stations were designed in the station builder simulator thing, which is really good for designing it. One thing I didn't know, because usually I'm only in for like 15 or so minutes, is that other ships actually come into that system. And one of the ships that came in was a Terminus class Sith ship, and it started, attacking things. So I plopped down one of our Cobra class stations, and it pretty much wiped it out relatively quickly, which is pretty good. Right, so first thing we need to do is we're going to put the Fantine Aggressor Squad, that is going to be with the New Dawn, and we're going to put them on interception duty for that. Then we're going to kind of sort out the ISD-2 fleets. We need to rename them as well. So they're going to go on bombardment in beta for that one. And this ship is going to be the Radisbane. So all our ships, all our big ships anyway, are named for reasons or for someone. So the Radisbane was, I think, our first ISD-2 that we got on the old Imperial playthrough, and I seem to remember the Radis, General Radis, was attacking our some of our convoy ships, the Radisbane. We basically tried to do a Hail Mary to save that ship, and the Radisbane actually killed Raditz, and it earned its name, it earned its moniker. Then we have got the Ronin. Again, apologies for any background noise. The Ronin. So Ronin is a member of the Interworlds Discord community, and he's really helpful. He kind of let us know some little bits and bats about it. So I was having a couple of issues on a couple of the playthroughs, the Rebel one that we were doing and the Imperial one. There were a few little glitches popping up, and he's the one that let us know, and he gave me a good explanation of like what basically broke it, and it was SETA, using SETA excessively, which I looked at the statistics on the game, and we used SETA for about 3 days worth of SETA out of a 9-day playtime on that last Imperial one. So needless to say, we'll not be using SETA as much. But yeah, Ronin, very helpful person. So I named a ship after him because he was a good lad. Assuming it is a lad. And then we have the Sorry, and I'll double check the name on this too. So this is named after one of our YouTube friends, D&D character, I think he said. He's kind of like Darth... What did he say he was a Darth Vader Star Paladin? Yeah, originally the ship was a Soribur. The Soribur one got destroyed in an epic defense, unfortunately. But the story of the Soribur is we took the Hulk, the burnt out Hulk, and we towed it back to the Imperial shipyards, and we fixed it, and we repurposed it into the Soribur 2 because it was such a good ship. And then we've got Old Scourge. Scourge comments a lot on our videos. Nice person. We like Scourge. And also one of my favourite favourite names, because I'm a 40k fan. I have a World Eaters army, and Scourge. Scourge is a good World Eaters name. We like that name. So yeah, so they're now named. We're going to do the ISD ones in a minute. So this episode is going to be a little bit not boring, but it is going to be that kind of like a setty-uppy episode. But I thought I'd let people see it all, because some people like that sort of thing. Gives people an idea of what we've got and where we're going with the series as well. The series is basically our goal is to wipe out the New Republic, and probably wipe out the Empire as well, in true Imperial / Sith fashion. NR07 again. NR07 is a member of our YouTube community, also a can't multitask patrol fleet, and NR07. So yeah, NR posts a lot of comments on videos and stuff like that, which is why he got a ship named after him. He also, I know I've seen his name pop up a lot in the community Discord as well for this game, which is good. He's an active person. And active people in mods and stuff like that are good, because it gives people, it helps. It keeps everyone else interested. It gives you someone to talk to about different things and kind of like read other people's point of view and stuff like that, which is good. And then we've got Mr. Pritchard, of the Pritchard, our other ISD1, who is, again, comments a lot on the videos. So it's kind of like, because we don't do any Patreon or anything like that as it stands at the minute, I tend to reward, like, is it a reward? It's kind of a reward. So the people that comment a lot and give a lot of feedback and stuff like that and help me out, it's kind of like what we do with the bigger ships. I'm not naming every single ship after someone, but you know, sometimes people stand out, they do really good things, and it's kind of like nice to have a reminder of that good deed. So yeah, Patrol Fleet Pritchard. Again, I will double check all these spellings and stuff like that at the moment. I am a little bit dyslexic, and it is early morning, so there is likely to be errors. We need to rename this fleet. So originally this was our command fleet. Excuse me. And we need to make sure everyone knows that this is the first and most kind of like tippy-toppy rank. So it's not just Command Fleet Alpha. It's not just Command Fleet Alpha Prime. It's Command Fleet Alpha Prime 1. Everyone knows this is the big dog, this fleet. In our lovely New Dawn Venator. We've mainly got Imperial ships at the minute. We've got all the blueprints to make a lot of the Clone Wars era ships, and you will see a lot of Clone Wars series era ships on this series, because they're kind of like my jam. I like the Clone Wars series, especially the arcs, but you can't get around the fact that a TIE Defender and a TIE Royal Guard Interceptor is a pretty good ship. Right, so what else do we need to do? These ISD 2s are going to get put together. Attack with Commander, because this is our, when it does it, Oh, we can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when it's paused, it won't immediately do it until you do another action. So if I do that, it should, yeah, it's done them all together. So this is rename fleet, hammer fleet, because the whole point of this ISD2 fleet is to hammer the crap out of stations, and we're going to see that in a minute when we go after that Vong artifact. So that's all that done. These raiders need to be on interception duty for our harbours, just so we keep those nice and safe. And then these harbour classes are going to be assigned to the ISD-1 fleets. The idea basically being these ISD-1 fleets are going to be our patrol fleets. They're going to go around the different systems, because we're going to try and make it so we haven't got all our might together. We're spreading it out a little bit. Okay, apologise for the background noise. I have some rabbits. They are idiots, basically. So yeah, the idea will be these fleets kind of like patrol the different systems and get things up and running. For us, I've missed a naming little thing there. Again, if you're not familiar with the series, I do like my things nice and neat where I can. Eventually, everything will descend into absolute chaos. I like naming ships. I like to know what everything is. But if it's got a C in front of the station, it means it's a civilian station. This is usually our stations that sell things to people. If it's got an M, it's a military station. It's a military installation, basically. It's there for either holding terrain or something like that. Now, this is our main shipyard. There's a reason I'm in this view most of the time, because if we try and see said shipyard, one thing you'll be immediately noticing is it's pretty damn foggy here in the Unknown Regions 1, which is brilliant for atmospheric shots, not so good for when you're trying to view things. So yeah, it's basically 3 defense rings. One with like a trader habitat, top defense, big storage, and a couple of large docks. We've got one which is small and medium docks on it. Then you've got your equipment and wharf. Wharf is what builds it. Equipment for repairing and reloading. 2 extra large buildy pods. 2 large buildy pods, which are not massively clear, but they're there on the sides. An XL equipment dock. A wharf, an equipment dock. Bunch of habitat rings. Bunch of storage. All this is storage and energy cell production, and a few habitats. And then on the end there, we've got another dock, an Imperial circular dock, and a large equipment dock. And then these in the background are just basically little defense stations to keep it nice and safe. Now, one thing you can't do, which is really goddamn irritating, in the, or as well as far as I'm aware of anyway, you can't do it in the map start, is you can't rotate the stations around. So in an ideal world, these defensive things would be facing like that way towards this corner, so they'd be at the front and the station would be at the back, so they can protect the approach. But yeah, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. You are basically stuck with whatever you get. These are our little Cobras, Cobra class defense station. Doesn't really look much like a Cobra. But yeah, when we first made them, they kind of reminded me a bit of a Cobra. Very simple kind of like dock with then just a bunch of guns on it. So yeah, we're this is kind of us. This is our setup. We're gonna unpause it in a minute, and we're gonna let everyone kind of maneuver around. I just want to have a quick look. Like, so one of the best things about the fog. Oh no, they're clipped into each other. Is like how good a Star Destroyer looks moving in it. And look at that. They look menacing as hell. If we look at, are you a bit better? Are you a bit less jank? There you go, look. Thank you to whoever it was in the comment section as well that has said about trying the twin formation. I'm going to give that a go for the bigger fleet. How awesome they look. It reminds me a little bit of the Battlefront games, when you got to like, you unlocked the dioramas, the diorama pieces. It's basically a freeze frame of a really high detailed, high fidelity kind of model of a trooper or something like that. But yeah, so this is going to be good. I think this series is going to be pretty good. I'm hoping it is anyway. So we're going to unpause the game now. And I wish we could just tell all of these guys to just... Oh, they are going to hold them. Wait, where are you going? So there shouldn't be anything going too close to this Vong base. What we're going to do is we're going to get the... Scourge, why aren't you part of the fleet, man? Scourge, you need to join Hammer Fleet. Right, just pause it 1 second, because I've got a feeling you're going to get yourselves killed. Let's just keep an eye on that. So these Vong kind of like, yeah, Kosha, why wouldn't you? Why would you just sit there? Eh? Yeah, they're going to get themselves murdered. Everything's on kind of like defend at the minute. We're going to tell you to dock and wait. Like all the ships. This is turning into a complete mess. So while the fleets just kind of sort themselves out, we'll take a small break, and then when we come back, we'll take out this Vong base. God knows what's happening down there. Why are you damaging yourselves, guys?
Arbor class.
Why is it the fog? All the pilots and stuff like that are like, for the most part, Mega 5-star generals, apart from a couple, because I figured we might as well have the best of the best, because narratively speaking that makes sense to me. Basically we're out here in the old wilds, and we've been here for a long time, so we've been doing nothing but training and waiting for the New Republic to start the warmongering ways again, and start picking a fight with the Empire. So I'm going to wait for all this crap to sort itself out, and we will see you very shortly. So just still waiting for the fleet to sort itself out. Looks like we've been having a little bit of Black Sun problems already. Unfortunately, I can't get a proper view. Always cuts to an interior view when we start getting shooting. But yeah, we've got some little Black Sun fighters deciding to take a pop at our little Adder class station, which is fine. They can shoot at that all day long. we should be able to take that out pretty easy. Like I said, the Black Sun early on are going to be a fairly big threat until we can take them out. Usually there's a wharf and a shipyard belonging to the Black Sun in this area, so that will be one of our early missions. Probably the first few episodes of this series are going to be dedicated to sorting out the Black Sun first of all in this system, so we can clear trade lanes out into these three systems here, because Munalist, Bescan and Bastion are kind of good Imperial sectors to know. Bastion being where the Imperial headquarters are, and their big shipyards, Munalist being where their wharf is, and there's good resources down here as well, so we're probably early on going to be ferrying a lot of stuff from up in Bescan down to ourselves from that area. So we're going to have to take these out and secure them. We can't build any of his own ships as it stands at the moment, because we don't have any resources to do so. But yeah, as you can still see, I'm still waiting for these guys to sort themselves out. As soon as that's happened, we're going to attack this base, and then, like I said, probably call it an episode. It's going to be a nice short episode on this one. Okay, so the fleets are organised enough where I'm happy for us to kind of like go after this Vong beacon. We're going to use the Hammer fleet to do this. We're going to do a coordinated attack on it. If you've never seen a coordinated attack, basically what happens is, let's just change your formation to twin. I want to see what twin looks like. Basically, you surround the base with like a cone, essentially. So if you like D&D fan, Warcraft fan, or anything like that, imagine it's like a cone of cold. As you can see, our ships are getting themselves into position first. So they sit themselves in position, which is this kind of like ring, death ring style thing, and then when everyone's in position, they start attacking. It's good and it's also bad. The downsides and drawbacks of it is, if there's enemy fighters kicking about, your fleet will sit there and just literally wait until it has the order. So if they're getting shot at, and this has happened to me before, we've had as nice ships sat in a ring like as TIE fighters, and a single Fang basically took out 4 or 5 of them before I realised, because it could just sit there and shoot them and they wouldn't shoot back. So yeah, it's one that you have to keep an eye on. It's good against stations, not particularly good against capital ships, because you've got to wait for all the big ships to kind of get into position. And it's also worthwhile keeping an eye on like if this can fire at any ships, because if the station could fire at your ships, again, it'll start doing damage to you. Right, so while we're waiting for that, let's have a look at this Vong beacon. So this is the Yuzon Vong beacon. These pop up, randomly spawn, semi-regular occurrence, I would say. They're not particularly tough. 3-4 Star Destroyers and a full complement of fighters is very much overkill for them, but they can do a significant amount of damage. They have like plasma-based weapons or something like that on them. Not a threat to be taken too lightly. What usually happens as well, so if you leave them for a long time, they start to spawn enemy fighters, which is bad, because then you have these fleets of Vong just terrorizing. I forgot how slow these were at turning. Let's back it up a bit, do a quick UE. Yeah, they start spawning Vong ships, which harass traders and stuff like that. When they get destroyed as well, usually a wave of Vong ships pop out of them. Reminds me of like an old style RTS game where when your buildings used to get destroyed, you used to end up with like enemy units or your units. Command and Conquer General, stuff like that. It used to be a little squadron of riflemen inside. But yeah. We're going to get ourselves into position fairly close so we can support the fleet against when the fighters come in, just so they don't catch us off guard. And then what we need to do is, well, then we're going to call it an episode, but in the next episode it'll be a case of we need to sort out our patrol fleets and start getting them up and running. We're going to have one in Ring of Moons, I think, and we need to send a scouting force into Hook to find out where things are. We might even take an arc to do that. There you go. We're getting in position now. If you click on the individual unit, it will tell you where they're meant to be stationed in this formation. If you don't want your fighters to deploy, if you put them on defense. Why aren't you docking? Yeah, if you put them on defense, usually they're fine. They don't dock with they don't deploy. Oh, saying that, they do deploy. Yeah, scrap that. Essentially, when you lock this command in, anything you've got regarding your turret control and your fleet behaviours and stuff like that is overridden, so be careful with it, essentially. Right, I think we're in a position where we can trigger this, because if you wait all day, if you wait for them to get in perfect position, it can take forever. It's not always necessary. We can basically launch this attack. And let's follow you in. So the bombers can either be extremely kind of like impressive when they come in, or very lackluster. Depends if they decide to fire and where they're going. So there we go. We're kind of moving in with our questionably shaped fighter craft. No, I don't want to look at the phallic end of it. Thank you. Yeah, see there? Just decided against that. But we have got... who's that? That's firing. Oh, I don't know. I've just told someone to move somewhere. Would that be you, sir? No, I didn't want that. I want you. I want to look at you.
Imperial Star.
What about you then? Let's get some Star Destroyer action. So this mist stuff is an absolute pain in the neck as regards to kind of like being able to see properly. Now, yeah. As I said, we've got a couple of Vong spawning. I mean, this ISD-2, this Venator that I'm in, is a very capable ship at the old fighting game. However, it's very rare I put it in much danger. We do some tussling with some of the ships and stuff like that, but a lot of the time I kind of just sit back and use it as a command ship. Oh, we can get these these little bits here. If that's basic, we might have lost a ship. It's very rare that the Vong actually drop that. Yeah, is it going after our docking ships? There we go. So that is our first fleet action. That's the Vong taken care of. We can now start our mining our few mining operations in this sector. Let's just quickly check. Radis Hammerfleet 240. Oh, so we didn't. It must be from a Vong ship. Oh, did we lose a bomber? That's only got 29 bombers. Oh no, we got 30. Oh, good. Very good. Excellent. So we'll grab that loot. We might have lost a ship, but it's an even number, so I don't think we have, if I'm 100% honest. Unless it's from one of our Fantine squadrons. And thank you for the loot. Park up so our ships can dock. Right, so we are going to literally call it there for an episode. This is going to be a very, very short episode in comparison to how long an X4 episode usually runs. So next episode, it's going to be a case of getting everything ready, everything scouting out. We've got this system to scout. We've got Ring of Moons and the other ones. We need to make contact with the Empire again and start basically getting some trade going and some goods going and securing those trade lanes. So, as ever, thank you for watching. I have been Captain Jack Gumption. I am going to save this game so we don't forget. And until next time.